up, I feel that second wind. We're gonna be alright, we're gonna be alright.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Measures of Hope. I'm Melissa, and I'm glad you're back with me, back in the yellow chairs with Memphis Jones. He's my friend and my pastor here at Cornerstone, and I'm really excited. This is our next topic. It's about the church and this current climate that we're in. We talked before about how do we have hope. How do we stay relevant as the church? How is the church relevant in this post-Christian culture? And it really is post-Christian. A lot of younger people aren't growing up going to church or thinking they need to or want to. Some people even have a really bad taste in their mouth when they hear church or when they talk about it. It's not the same world that we grew up in, that I grew up in a long time. Well, I'm not that old. Not that old, y'all.
Not yet.
No. I mean, but even like 15 years ago when I was in high school and middle school, it was different. Church was a thing that most people did still in my school, but not today. So how do we stay relevant and but more important, effective? How do we love people who don't necessarily want to be loved by us or even want to interact with the church or open to it?
How does the church retain relevance when it's countercultural?
Yes, countercultural. There we go.
That's amazing. What an amazing question. I love that you said we are post-Christian in America. Our society is. And like when you're referencing the world that you grew up in.
Yeah.
I grew up in a world that was a Christian America. I didn't necessarily go to church every Sunday. I didn't go to youth group. Like it wasn't part of my life, but it was part of my world. It was part of the culture, especially here in Memphis in the South. Most people went to church. So that was a part of the fabric. But within the last 10 years, a page has turned in our culture here in the West, but in America specifically, a page has certainly turned, and we are much more like European nations were 10 or 15 or even 30 years ago, where it wasn't as common for people to have any biblical knowledge. You know, like we are in a post-Christian society. How does the church stay relevant? I love the idea of being challenged to answer a question like this. Here's why. Here's your answer. Here's why. When Jesus walked the earth and began his ministry at the age of 30, he chose 12 close friends, like an inner circle. And we called them the disciples today. Some of them became apostles. Apostles is what they became once they were sent, but disciples is like a student or a pupil. So he had 12 disciples that walked and talked and ate and slept and lived right beside him for all of the years of his ministry, watching him and learning from him and being taught and instructed and corrected by him. And then he told them, I'm going to be crucified. And he was exactly the way that he said that he was in advance, which is another proof of his godhood. And he raised from the dead exactly as he said he would. And there's the proof of his godhood. That is what our whole faith hinges on, that he raised from the dead, and there were witnesses, not just his 12 disciples, but hundreds and hundreds of his followers. In fact, people that lived there talked about it. There was a time where the Bible mentions he was seen by more than 500 men and their families. So, potentially thousands of people. So there is an historic proof that Jesus did that. That's what these men were banking everything on. And before the ascension that they witnessed also, when he ascended into heaven, amazing. He said, all authority in heaven has been given to me. There's no authority on earth above me. There's no authority below the earth above me. Everything is subject to my authority now. And so in that authority, he gave us the Great Commission. He said, now go make disciples of all nations. So is it harder for us in a post-Christian society to present the gospel? Is it harder for us to do that today than it was for those 12 men who were preaching something brand new something that no one had ever heard of, and in fact was going against what their religious, like their local belief system.
Yeah.
The local belief system, those were the men that were so offended by the message of Jesus that they demanded his death.
Yeah.
So that, to me, how do I stay relevant? First, I'm much less challenged when I remember that it has been harder to be relevant than it is today.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. If they can overcome it then certainly we can overcome it now. And how do we do it? The trick, the secret, well, it's not really a secret, but like the secret sauce is what Jesus offers us is it's corporate. Like he offers it to everyone, but he offers it to us as individuals. Like when he offers his grace to you, his mercy to you, his love to you, it's not, hey, you and your kids and who else is on your list. He's dealing with you. So the relationship that we have with Jesus is always going to be relevant because it's going to be perfect in his timing, perfect in the timing of our lives. And as he proves himself to me and as he proves himself to you, it's just like the way he proves himself to everyone. He is relevant to every culture, every time, every situation, every circumstance. He is the remedy to every ill, societal or otherwise. He is the answer. Jesus and his love and his mercy, what he gives to us and what he teaches us is perfect. So how do we stay relevant? We stay submitted, not just obedient, but submitted. That is to say, whatever you say, I'm going to do it. I'm not just going to be obedient. I'm going to clean my room and grumble while I do it. I am submitted. Jesus, if you say it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because your will is so much higher than mine. Your goal, your purpose is so much greater than mine. I benefit just from walking behind you. So if I'm obedient and submitted to Jesus as a pastor, then what Jesus tells me is this is about relationship. Love people. Let your church be a place where people love each other. They rely on each other. Relationships are built. Don't let there be somebody in this seat that doesn't know the name of this person in this seat. Make sure that what is engendered is relationship, because Jesus turned the whole world upside down with those 12 people. Those 12 men turned the entire world upside down, and he continues to do that today. So how does this church, where I pastor, how do we stay relevant? It is about love. The love of Jesus coming to us, moving through us, so that we have the same mercy, the same grace to offer each other that we've been offered first.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
It is.
I feel encouraged.
Me too. I think that we do it very well here. It feels like a family, and I'm so excited. We've been having an explosion of growth, especially among youth, and I think that as much as it's a post-Christian society, that people are desperate for that love. So it's very attractive. In some ways, it's not churchy. It's not about traditions or these,
religion.
Right. It's not about religion. It's about love and being loved. And I think that is very attractive to these.
I love that.
Kids.
Yeah. The Bible says that God takes the isolated and brings them into family. If you feel like an orphan or a reject, if you feel isolated in your emotions or in your pursuits or just even in your personhood, Jesus is the answer to that too. Jesus says, come to me, all of you who are weary, all of you who are tired of trying to cope with it, trying to fix it, come to me and he will set you into family. And there are a lot of churches today all over the world who are experiencing the same thing that we are. God is moving. It's undeniable. And he's moving through the love of Jesus. It's a very authentic church that is sweeping the globe today. And that's another proof of his Godship.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that we're not stuck on tradition and in this box. We're not putting God in a box. He can't be in a box. We talked about that on Wednesday night with my littles.
How's that class going?
Awesome. It's awesome. They're loving it.
I don't know if Melissa has told y'all.
I have not.
I'm just the guest. I'm not the host.
It's cool. Go for it.
Melissa is teaching classes on our Wednesday nights, like with the youth and everything, which is specifically for them. And you're doing such a great job. The kids love you, and it's obvious that you love them too.
Yes.
So
I
cool.
love them.
Yeah, cool.
But we talked about that. We talked about how God is so much bigger than we can ever imagine. We can't put him in a box. We can't make him fit this category. And I love that. He's brought that to his church. Like, we can't put him in this box here.
Wow.
We love
Yeah.
each other, and that's his purpose for us.
Amazing. Amazing.
I mean, and Jesus said that was the greatest commandment, to love him and love each other. So if we do that, that's all we gotta do, right?
Who's the preacher now?
Hey. Okay.
Hey, this is Memphis Jones with Measures of Hope. No, you're the host. I'm just the guest.
Well,
but you're doing some good preaching.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm so thankful for this opportunity and for you answering my question. And I hope that you are encouraged and that you feel loved and valued. Because even if I don't ever meet you, he doesn't ever meet you, God knows you and loves you, and you are seen. And it's very individualistic for you and your walk with him.
Wow.
So don't give up. Have hope. Thank you for watching. See you later.